Hi children, how are you all? I hope all you are fine. Children, in that previous video what we learnt ma? We learnt up to the types of angles. Okay ma? So what is the total angle here? Total angle is 360 degrees. Now here based on that total angle, here in this video we will learn about that angles made by hours hand and in the same way minutes hand of a clock. Children, have you observed that clock ma? Okay. Children, observe that here this is having one of the circular unit, right? One of that circular shape is there, or whatever it may be here, that is in any shape, that clock is in any shape, but inside we are having that numbers and that forms here one complete rotation. Okay, always one complete rotation shows that one complete rotation is always equals to 360 degrees. Understood ma? Now here see that angles made by hours hand and in the same way minutes hand of a clock. Okay, see here this is hours hand and this is minutes hand. Okay, short hand is called that hours hand and the longest hand of a clock is called minutes hand, we know that, right? Now here children observe that angles made by, now the concept is angles made by hours hand and minutes hand of a clock. Minutes hand of a clock. Okay children, this is our concept. Now here say that. Now see that first what they given, hours hand. Hours hand means in a clock how many hours are there? We know that in a clock we have the 12 hours. Okay, 12 hours clock. Now here see that in a clock total hours, how many hours ma? 12 hours clock, no? Total hours in a clock. How many hours ma here? 12 hours clock. Understood. Now how to measure it? Okay, in 1 hour how much angle made by hours hand? Okay, angle made by, the first point is, listen carefully ma, angle made by hours hand, okay, by a hours hand in 1 hour. In 1 hour means in 1 hour how much angle it turns? It takes how much angle to complete 1 hour? Understood? Not for that one complete rotation. It completes 1 hour, how much angle it takes. Okay. How to find means actually here total angle is 360 degrees. We know that. 360 degrees. How many hours are there in all? We have that 12 hours. Okay ma. 360 by 12. Here 12 3s 36 and 0 degrees which is equals to 30 degrees. What is the meaning of this one? By completing 1 hour it takes 30 degrees angle. Okay, hours hand takes 30 degrees angle to complete 1 hour. Understood? And in the same way here angle made by a minutes hand, okay, to complete 1 minute. Angle made by a minutes hand to complete 1 minute. To complete 1 minute. Children see here 1 minute is equals to how many seconds ma here? 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds and in the same way 12 hours is equals to here how many, total 1 hour is equals to how many minutes here? We can say that is 60 minutes. Okay, 60 minutes make here 1 hour. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. Okay, now how to find this one means for 1 minute, see that for 1 minute It takes how much angle means 360 degrees by 60 degrees. Okay, 0 and 0 gets cancelled. 6 6 are 36, no, 6 degrees. Which means here in 1 minute it takes that 6 degrees angle. A minute's hand takes 6 degrees angle to complete 1 minute. Understood, ma? So this is about that, how to measure that angles, the angles done by that hour's hand, and in the same way minute's hand also. Now here, what is the difference between hour's hand and minute's hand to complete 1 minute? Okay, see that. The difference between angle made by minute's hand and hour's hand, minute's hand and hour's hand, hour's hand to complete 1 minute. To complete 1 minute. Children, we know that to complete 1 hour, hour's hand takes that how many degrees, ma? 30 degrees time, 30 degrees angle to complete that 1 hour. Okay, and in the same way, minute's hand takes 6 degrees angle to complete 1 minute. Now what they are asking here, the difference between the angle taken by minute's hand to cover 1 minute and hour's hand also to complete 1 minute only. Okay, for 1 hour we calculated. Now to calculate for that 1 minute. Okay, now here see that in 1 hour it takes that 30 degrees angle taken by hour's hand. Okay, now here 1 hour is equal to how many minutes, ma? 1 hour is equals to 60 minutes. Okay, now here 60 minutes is equals to 30 degrees. Both also same only, no? 1 hour or 60 minutes, both also same only. Now here 60 minutes is equal to 30 degrees taken by hour's hand. Now here for that 1 minute they are asking, no? That's why to calculate for that 1 minute is equal to 30 degrees by 60. 0 0 gets cancelled. 3 by 6 means here degrees there, no? Now here see that 3 1 by 2. Half degree. Okay, half degree taken by hour's hand to complete 1 minute. Okay, and in the same way we know that half degree taken by hour's hand to complete 1 minute. To complete 1 minute. And in the same way we know that 6 degrees taken by minute's hand. Already we did this one, ma. Minute's hand covers that 6 degrees. It completes 1 minute in by taking 6 degrees, right? Now here say that we know that 6 degrees taken by minute's hand to complete 1 minute. To complete 1 minute. Now here difference they are asking. So find the difference here. Okay, 6 degrees minus half degree. So from that 6 hours just remove that half an hour means how much you will get, ma? 5.5 hours. And in the same way from that 6 degrees just subtract that half degree. Okay, then you will get that 5.5 degree. So 5.5 degree, that is the difference between that angle, that is the 5.5 degree angle is the difference between hour's hand and minute's hand to complete 1 minute. Understood, ma? So this is about measurement of angles made by hour's hand and minute's hand in a clock. Understood? Depends on this one. We are having that worksheet problems also there. Later we will discuss about that while we are teaching about that, while we are discussing about that worksheet problems. At that cases we will discuss. Okay. Now here say that this is about that measurement. Okay. After this one we are having that operations on rays. Operations on types of rays. Actually here already I told you, rays. Okay, OA and OB two rays we taken, which means initial ray and terminal ray. Those two also forms an angle. Already we know that. And in the same way here see that The first one is a bisector of an angle. Bisector of an angle. Bisector of an angle. So what is the meaning of that bisector of an angle? Children, say that already I told you that here two rays we have to take, right? Two rays, minimum two rays required. Minimum 2 rays means if you will take that more than 2 rays means then you will get that, depends on that number of rays, you will get that those many angles. Okay, 2 rays must and should require to form an angle. This is OA, OB, 2 rays there, no? In between here, this is another ray. Now what we can say here, what we can observe here, previously OB, OA is there means one angle is there. Now here how many angles are formed here? 2 angles are formed. Okay. Now what about that bisector of an angle means a ray which divides 2 angles into 2 equal angles. Okay. Or see that one angle only divided into 2 angles here. Yes or no? We can observe the 2 angles. By joining those two here, if you will take that AOB as that angle, at that cases you have to consider this total one as one of the angle, no? At that cases what we can say means here, a ray which divides the given angle into 2 equal parts, then the ray is called here bisector of an angle. Understood? From this one, which one is that bisector of an angle, ma? Yes, of course, OC is called bisector of angle. Understood? Now here say that a ray which divides given angle into 2 equal parts. Given angle into 2 equal parts. 2 equal parts is called bisector of an angle. Is called bisector of angle. Understood, ma? A ray which divides that given angle, actually previously we know that here this is one of the angle, no ma, OB, OA. Here we have that one of the angle here. This is the total angle, OAB angle, AOB angle that is. This angle is divided into 2 equal parts now. Okay, 2 equal parts by the ray that is OC. By which ray here that angle is divided into 2 equal parts, that ray is considered as a bisector of an angle. Understood, ma? Now here see that, here what we can say here, OC is the bisector of angle. Is the bisector of an angle. Understood, ma? So this is about that bisector of angle. After this one, we are having that adjacent angles. What is that? Adjacent angles. Okay, adjacent angles means what? See that previously I told you that one of the angle is divided into 2 equal angles by the arm. Okay, then we will call those 2 angles are equal angles. That arm is called bisector of the angle. Now here adjacent angles means 2 angles are formed, no ma. Those 2 angles are formed by the common arm and in the same way formed by the common point. Then we will call those 2 angles are adjacent angles. Okay, now here see that. Okay. OC. Now here this is one of the angle, this is another angle. Understood? Now here see that 2 angles are formed. 2 angles are formed by having a common arm, and a common vertex. Common vertex is called, common vertex are called adjacent angles. Okay, ma, what about that adjacent angles here? Say that Just like that, see that, just like that bisector of the angle, what I told you, that a ray which divides that given angle into two equal parts, then we will call that ray as a bisector of the angle. Now here, which ray is dividing that angle into two parts, not equal parts, two parts. Okay, now here how many angles will be formed, ma? Two angles will be formed. Those two are equal or those two are unequal angles. Okay, whatever it may be, those two angles formed, no? Two angles are formed by having a common arm, which means theta 1, this angle is also having a common arm OC, and theta 2 is also having a common arm OC only, no? Having a common arm, and those two angles also formed at a common vertex. Those two angles also formed at O only, no? Formed at a common vertex. Then we will call those two angles are adjacent angles. Understood, ma? Now here say that angle AOC, angle AOC and angle COB or BOC, that is your wish. Anyway, we can say that, no? BOC are adjacent angles. Adjacent angles. And in the same way, in another way, we can say that one as theta 1 and theta 2 are adjacent angles. Theta 1 and theta 2 are adjacent angles. And in the same way, we can say that here OC is the common arm. Here OC is the common arm. Common arm. Okay. And O is the common vertex. Common vertex. Yes or no, ma? Theta 1 and theta 2, those two angles also formed at the same vertex O only, no? And those two angles also having the common arm OC. See that here OC is there, here also OC is there, which means which one is the common arm here? OC is that common arm. So what we can say here, which angles are adjacent angles means those two angles are having the same common arm and those two also formed at the same common vertex. Then those two angles are called adjacent angles. I'll tell you here one example, see that. Okay, like this some angles will be there, see that, ma. Here this is theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4. How many angles we are having here? We are having 4 angles. Now which angles are adjacent angles? Is it possible to say that theta 1 and theta 3 are adjacent angles, ma? We can't say that theta 1 and theta 3 are adjacent angles. Why? Because theta 1 and theta 3 are not having any common arm here. Understood? Then which one we can say that adjacent angles, ma, here? Say that angle BOC, angle BOC and COD, angle COD. Okay, this is one of the pair. The second pair is angle COD, angle COD and angle DOE. Okay, and in the same way, angle DOE and in the same way EOA are adjacent angles. Understood, ma? Then which angles are adjacent angles here? Theta 1, theta 2. Theta 1, theta 2. Next, another pair of angles, theta 2, theta 3. Theta 2, theta 3. Next, theta 3, theta 4. Theta 4. Okay. Is it possible to say that another pair, theta 1, theta 3, is it possible to say that these two are adjacent angles, ma? Why? Because those two are not adjacent angles. These two are not an adjacent angles. Those two also not an adjacent angles. Why? Because what is this reason, ma? Those two also formed at the having same point, having same vertex, but not having common arm. Having common arm. Not having any common arm. That's why here those two are not adjacent angles. Okay. And in the same way say that ma OC. Here also CO or OC. Those two also same only, no? OD, DO. OE, EO. Is there any other combination ma here? See that EO. Anywhere we are having EO? Not there. Okay. And in the same way, see that OE means already we written here that one. Okay, that's why here which are having that common arms, then those angles only consider as adjacent angles. Understood? Yes. Next one, see that we are having that a linear pair. What is that ma? Linear pair. Linear pair. What about that linear pair? Here this is also two adjacent angles formed by two opposite rays. Adjacent angles means already we have an idea what is that, having a common vertex and having a common arm. Okay. Now here see that these two are that adjacent angles, no? These two are that adjacent angles. Now as per the definition of that linear pair, see that here adjacent angles formed by a two opposite rays. Okay. OB, OC, OA. This is O. Okay. This is theta 2 and this is theta 1. Understood ma? These two are adjacent angles. Okay. These two are adjacent angles. And this is a linear pair. Linear pair. So what about that linear pair? Linear pair means two adjacent angles formed by two opposite rays. Formed by two opposite rays. What is the definition ma? Two adjacent angles. Two adjacent angles formed by two adjacent angles formed by two opposite rays. Two opposite rays, okay, is called a linear pair. Linear pair. Understood ma? See that OA and OB are opposite rays and here theta 1 and theta 2 are the angles formed on two opposite rays, and those two also adjacent angles. OC is the common arm, no? Then here theta 1 and theta 2 are that adjacent angles, and those two adjacent angles formed on a straight line. Those two opposite rays means opposite rays forms here straight line only, no? Okay, and in the same way straight line forms an angle. What is that angle ma? On that straight line at that point O, what is that angle? 180 degrees only, no? That's why here what we can say here, angle AOC and angle COB are adjacent angles. Adjacent angles. And in the same way, angle AOC plus angle AOC plus angle COB, those two also forms here one straight line, no? So on that straight line, how many angles we can observe here? Two angles we can observe. So by adding these two angles here, we can observe that a straight angle, no? Okay, that's why here angle AOC plus angle COB is equals to, what is that straight angle ma here? Straight angle is 180 degrees. And in the same way, this angle we can take it as theta 1 plus theta 2 is equal to 180 degrees. Then here what is the angle of that linear pair ma? The two adjacent angles forms here 180 degrees. Then those two angles are called a linear pair. Okay, that one forms here linear pair. And in the same way here, the angles formed on a linear pair are called linear angles. Angles formed on a linear pair. Angles formed on a linear pair are called linear angles. Okay ma, see that here this is straight line, no? OA, OB. Now here, I told you no here, some other adjacent angles also we can say that here theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4, theta 5. How many angles we can observe here? 5 angles we can observe here at that point O. Understood ma? Now here these 5 angles forms here linear pair or not? Of course those 5 also forms here linear pair. Why? Because theta 1, theta 2 adjacent angles, theta 2, theta 3 adjacent angles, theta 3, theta 4 adjacent, theta 4, theta 5 adjacent, and those 5 angles also formed at that angle O only, no? Okay, from this one what we can say here? Theta 1 plus, theta 2 plus, theta 3 plus, theta 4 plus, theta 5. Then which is equals to how much ma'am? Which is equals to 180 degrees only. 180 degrees only divided into 5 different angles here. Understood? Now here theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4, theta 5. We will call these angles are linear angles or linear angles. Understood? This is about that linear pair. And still we are having one more type of angle, that is vertically opposite angles. Another one is vertically opposite angles. Okay ma? Vertically opposite angles means here two rays intersected by or two lines, two intersecting lines. When you observe the two intersecting lines, here observe that this is O, this is OA, OB, OC, OD. We can say that AC is one of the straight line, BD is another straight line, and in the same way OA and OC are opposite rays and OB and OD are opposite rays. So such kind of rays here, two opposite rays, okay, those two also intersected at the point O. Okay, now here angles formed at non-common arms. Angles formed at non-common arms, which means here this is theta and this is theta. And in the same way, okay, here see that this is O, A, B, C, D. Same diagrams only, no? Angles formed at two non-common arms, non-adjacent angles, two non-adjacent angles. Non-adjacent angles means side by side angles means adjacent angles. Okay, these two also adjacent angles. Now which two are non-adjacent angles ma? Here BOC and AOD are non-adjacent angles. So here the angles formed at non-adjacent angles, those two non-adjacent angles formed at intersecting point are equal. Okay, and those two angles we will call them as vertically opposite angles. Okay, what is the definition ma here? Two non-adjacent angles, two non-adjacent angles formed at a common point, are called vertically opposite angles. Are called vertically opposite angles. And in the same way here we can say that ma, here say that how much angle is there here? The same angle we can observe here. Why? Because AC is a straight line and in the same way BD is also a straight line. Okay, then we can say that here two vertically opposite angles are always equal. What is that statement ma? Vertically opposite angles are always equal. Okay, from this one what we can write here? Vertically opposite angles are angle BOA or angle AOB is equals to angle COD. Angle COD is equal to theta. Those two angles are equal. And in the same way here also we can say that angle BOC angle BOC is equal to angle AOD. Angle AOD. For example, this is theta 1, this is theta 2. Okay, ma, from this one what we can say here, vertically opposite angles are equal. Actually, we are having that one of the theorem also. Vertically opposite angles are equal. One of the theorem is also there. Okay, we will discuss that theorem in that next video. After that, next video we will discuss about that the theorem which is related to vertically opposite angles are equal. Along with that, we are having some other types of angles, pairs of angles. Up to now we learned the types of angles, indivisible angles. Now here types of pairs of angles. Okay, we will discuss about the pairs of angles. Which type of angles means complementary angle, supplementary angle, conjugate angle, like that angles we will discuss in that next video. Okay, thank you all.